Venom 3 with Tom Hardy is going to be his final Venom film. And with the way Venom 2 left us off in the post-credit scene and the way Spider-Man No Way Home left us off with its post-credit scene, a lot of people are wondering what exactly is in store for the future of Venom, both in the Sony Spider-verse and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, we know a few things about the villain of the movie, or I should say villains of the movie, thanks to some insider reports, and the villains actually have an interesting connection to Iron Man, and they do also have a connection to Spider-Man. If you've been following the channel and the news about Venom 3, you probably have heard that Tom Hardy has said multiple times that the end goal for Venom would be to have him and Spider-Man get together on screen. Well, this is Tom Hardy's final film as Venom, at least his final solo film. So a lot of fans are wondering, are we going to see Spider-Man in Venom 3? If not, when? Not too long ago, the insider My Time to Shine Hello stated that we are going to see Tom Hardy's Venom go up against Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and she said that is coming sooner than we think, but did not clarify if it's in Venom 3 or another project. So let's go over what we know right now about Venom 3, the villains and their Iron Man and Spider-Man connections. And if you're new and you want to stay up to date on Venom, Spider-Man, the MCU, and Marvel in general, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and if you subscribe and leave a comment on our videos, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. Winner picks one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. So according to the insider My Time to Shine Hello, this is indeed going to be the final solo Venom film. She did specifically say solo film, so Sony or Marvel could have some plans for Venom to appear in another movie, perhaps Avengers Secret Wars or the big Spider-Verse movie that Sony could be planning. She states that Orwell Taylor is the main villain, and he will be played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. This was also reported by insider Daniel RBK. Most Marvel fans know Chiwetel from Doctor Strange, and then of course again in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Mordo. Well, it looks like he's sticking with Marvel, kind of, because this of course is Sony and Marvel, and is going to be playing the villain Orwell Taylor. Now, when this news broke out, some people were a little bit confused because he's not a symbiote. He's obviously not a symbiote from Clentar. So what's the deal? Is Venom not going to fight another symbiote in this film? Well, since Riot was in the first film and then Carnage was in the second film, we are assuming that some type of symbiote is going to show up in Venom 3. We're not sure who, but we assume one is showing up. But at the same time, Spider-Man could fill the hole of a missing symbiote, but hopefully both show up. And I'll talk about how both a symbiote and Spider-Man could be related to Orwell Taylor, the main villain of this film. Plus some other villains come along with him as well that have that Iron Man connection that I mentioned. You see, Orwell Taylor was once a general in the United States Army, but he becomes a villain because of one of his sons, Hugh Taylor, who was also in the Army. Then he quit the Army and went to work in the superhero prison that everybody knows as the Vault. Sadly, Hugh would get smothered to death by Venom. So his father, Orwell, wants to find a way to avenge the death of his son. So he sets out to kill Venom. So Orwell gathers together friends of his son and his other son, Maxwell, to set out and kill Venom. Hugh's two buddies and fellow guardsmen at the Vault, Samuel Culkin and Curtis Elkins, get fitted with armor that was based off of the armor that the guardsmen wore, which was based off of designs stolen from Iron Man. So their armor is based off of Iron Man's armor. So Samuel Culkin goes on to become Ramshot, and Curtis Elkins becomes Sentry, and his other son, Maxwell, becomes Screech. Orwell calls this group the Jury, and their mission is to bring Venom to justice. This will be really interesting to see how Sony adapts armor that is supposed to be stolen from Iron Man. The designs for the armor are supposed to be based off of Iron Man suits. So of course Sony can't mention Iron Man in these films. They can't mention Tony Stark. They don't have the rights to do that. But we'll know when we see these suits that they're based off of Iron Man. So that'll be pretty cool. But like I mentioned, everybody wants to know about the symbiote that's going to be in the film and about, of course, Spider-Man. We'll talk about both of these in just a bit, but first, big thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. Fume is a game changer for a lot of people in turning bad habits into good habits. A lot of people struggle with these bad habits, but Fume looks at these in a different way. Not everything in the habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? And that's exactly what Fume does. They're innovative and they're award-winning, and they're a flavored air device. That's all it is. It's flavored air. So it has none of the bad things and the bad habit in it. Instead of vapor, it uses flavored air. Instead of of electronics, fume is completely natural, and instead of harmful chemicals, fume uses delicious flavors. I had actually heard really great things about fume from my friends who were struggling with some bad habits. They actually raved about it and how it helped them, which is why I agreed to partner with them, and they sent me some samples and they honestly are super refreshing and taste very flavorful and good. And it comes in beautiful real wood, and it's honestly really fun to just sit there and kind of fidget with if you're someone who likes to fidget like I do. And I know stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but with fume, it's easy, and they have served over 150,000 customers and have thousands of success stories. And that could be you if you pick up a journey pack today. Head over to tryfume.com and use code COSMIC to save 10% off when you get the journey pack today. That's tryfum.com and use code COSMIC to save an additional 10% off your order today. Now, obviously, one big connection that they could do with Spider-Man and with Iron Man is if Tom Holland's Spider-Man showed up in Venom 3. If Marvel Studios gave them permission to do that, then Tom Holland could look at these villains and say, wait, are these suits Iron Man suits? Are these stolen Stark tech? In which Venom might not know what that is, and Orwell Taylor might not know what that is either. But that could be a really clever way for them to do it. Spider-Man could get involved because in the comics, Orwell Taylor and the jury, his team, do kidnap Spider-Man. However, there is kind of a flaw with this story being played out in the Sony Spider-Man universe. You see, in the comics, the jury kidnaps and drugs Spider-Man. This is because he brought the Venom symbiote to Earth, and as we know, that is not what happened in the Sony Spider-Man universe. That's a big thing that a lot of people are still mad about, but we'll just move along. The jury also, when they kidnap and drug Spider-Man, trick him into helping them steal a government transport array. They plan to use this and modify it to be able to kill Venom. Of course, they fail. But what's really interesting is that this team does encounter Spider-Man on their way to try and kill Venom. It's interesting because of what Venom 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home left us with in their post-credit scenes. Eddie Brock and Venom now know that Spider-Man exists, at least in that universe that they were in. So in their own universe, they are most likely going to want to track down Spider-Man, Peter Parker. And of course, there is always a chance that Orwell Taylor might think that Spider-Man himself is also a Venom symbiote. And it would make sense that Orwell would want to kill all symbiotes. Maybe something happened with Riot, maybe something happened with Carnage as well. Maybe when Venom was fighting Carnage, he accidentally killed Orwell's son. There's many ways they could play this story that would make a lot of sense. And it would make sense, given how Spider-Man and Venom somewhat move alike, that Orwell could think Spider-Man is indeed a symbiote as well. And this could be how we get a Spider-Man in Venom 3. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man or not. After all, the insider My Time to Shine Hello did say that Andrew Garfield would be returning. She did not specifically say where he is going to return or which project. She simply said he will show up in other stuff. And not to mention, when Spider-Man No Way Home came out, a lot of insiders at that time did state that Sony does want Andrew Garfield back, and Andrew Garfield is down to return and play more Spider-Man, even though he said he's not. But then again, he did also state that he was not in Spider-Man No Way Home and that he wasn't the werewolf. And we know how that turned out. Now, as far as another symbiote being in Venom 3, I would assume that we'll get another symbiote. Even if Spider-Man is in the film, they'll probably want a symbiote to bring Venom and Spider-Man together to have to defeat. Because unless Orwell Taylor really does have actual Iron Man technology, Venom and Spider-Man taking down the group, the jury, shouldn't be that hard. But what would be hard is another symbiote. Tom Hardy said that if they're in the Olympics, then the gold medal is Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Venom in a movie, and he would be foolish not to go for gold. We'll see if that actually happens in Venom 3. If we hear anything else about Spider-Man in Venom 3 or just simply any Venom 3 news, we'll be sure to do an update video, so be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the Venom 3 videos. Please don't forget to give this video a like. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.